and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. It's time for a WIP and Waffle today, or the WIP and Chat as many call it, but you'll soon see I waffle. Yeah, so I'm working on the final one of my PaintGem mini doors set. For this one because I finished Koala last week. So because Koala is finished, I am doing some PaintGem until my next one is kitted up, but then through the week, evenings through the week, etc., I am using, I'm doing Walking in the Rain. So I'm doing some extra of Walking in the Rain. But in this set, I have added some AB diamonds. So I'm going to place those first. I'm using this pen again that was gifted to me because it's blinking gorgeous. And it does have putty in it rather than a glue dot. So I can use it for my ABs as much as I use it for my normal diamonds. Because the putty it tends to coat better with ABs. Definitely does better than glue dots. It doesn't last quite as long as glue dots, but it lasts longer than wax. So it's that nice in between. I do like to use it in my multi-places. I like to use putty. So I thought, while I have putty in the pen, let's use it for my ABs. I always like to add my AB embellishments to my PaintGems first, partly because I normally would just use a pickup pen. If the putty is too sticky, which can happen, or if I'm using a glue dot pen, then I will use my pickup pen for ABs all the time. I have quite a few of them on the go, and they tend to stay with various kits that have ABs in them. But for this one, I say I can get away with using the putty. So I do have a few different ABs for this one, not a huge amount. I have a pink, which is my symbol K that I've just done. I have a purple. Not that I've got many left, but this isn't in this one. For the blues, I actually have two. So I have some ABs of 3766, but then I have added in my leftover fairy dust diamonds from my Diamond Art Club mystery painting. And I have been liking using these on any glass work. So I've used them on a couple of paintings that have a glass archway above the door, and I feel like it gives the door a little bit of shine. So when I de-kit this kit and you see me put all my diamond paintings away, you will see the others that have this diamond on them. And how pretty they look. It's got a different look to ABs. I do also have a pink, sorry, not a pink, a red AB, which is actually, I think, the symbol C. Yeah, it is the symbol C. I do have a little asterisk on my normal diamonds that tells me which ones I have an AB for. But I don't know whether I want them in this painting. I've put them in others where the red has been flowers. Where I've had a red door, I haven't used them, but I have used them where I've had flowers, but I don't know whether I want to use them in this stained glass. I'm actually wondering if I have enough diamonds, and this is all I have that's in here, to do around this glass frame as well. I'm partly thinking, is there somewhere that I would prefer to to do it while I test out if I have enough. I know I definitely wanted it on the top. Maybe let's do round one side. I don't want to get to the point of counting them all, but I'm wondering if I do around one side and then see if I feel like I'm going to have enough to do the whole lot. That is the question. Will I have enough? Do I do the same on this side and then see where we're at? I might even be at a point where I don't mind counting if I do that. Because I don't want to count them all. I definitely wanted them on the top, so I was happy doing just the top. But then as I've tipped them into the tray, I do realise I have quite a few more than I thought I did. Oh yeah, I think I'm going to have enough to do them all. Because I've only just hit halfway across my tray, and I think there was probably just as many, if not more, on this far side. I'll probably end up with loads left and think, why did I wonder? But I'm going to pop it in all of the glass around this door. It sort of, once the others are in, it gives a nice twinkle look that you may have reflecting off glass, especially if it's textured glass or, you know, a little bit privacy glass, as you can have in windows by doors. Or at least that's my thought. And I'm sticking to it. Okay, I did have plenty to do it all. So I've done all that letter G. I don't have many left now, but that's fine because I work with what I'm working with. The tray I'm using is this month's limited edition. If you saw the shop post that went up yesterday, you will see that we're launching the olive green colour, which is gorgeous. So I'm using the Zesty tray for this one. Okay, now I've done my ABs, then this washi tape's been used about 5 times. Now I like to go to the most bottom left corner. It's my preference. So I'm going to start with this letter V. But then when I'm using these pots with PaintGem, I then like to use any of the other colours that are in here in this whole strip, so I don't have to touch the strip again. So we'll do the V and then see where we end up next. But I hope everybody's having a great week, as per usual. It's been a busy week here, but a good week, a good productive week. We've had quite a few exciting deliveries for Advent this week. We've had some exciting things turn up, some final things ordered, also exciting new items for the shop ordered that will come in at various times. So it's been a very good week and I can't wait to start sharing everything with you all as and when things launch in the shop. But yeah, it's a good week, that's for sure. Say, a very productive week. Pam, she says she's loving the diamond painting that I'm doing right now, which was my koala, Kenny the koala. She says she won't be able to watch me diamond paint for a while because she's getting ready to move. Rather you than me. She did say, she said her friend died last October. I am sorry to hear that. And she's been living in her apartment, taking care of her things. Now that's done, she says she does need to move out of her place. She was a caregiver while she was alive. She's found a place in Manchester, NH, which is about half an hour away from where she was living, which was Concord, NH. She said, sorry, this was a long comment. More than happy for you to post a long comment, and I hope the move goes well or has gone well. This comment was a couple of weeks ago, so it may be that the move is all done and you are relaxing again. But yeah, either way, I hope it has gone well or is going well, whichever it may be. Diamonds and Dobermans. She says diamonds and Dobermans. She said you asked. She said so. Here goes. She says to ditch the decision wheel and work on the kit that brings you the most joy. She says, how difficult is that? That's actually fairly difficult. Hence the decision wheel in the first instance. I love every painting in my stash, and trying to make a decision over which one to do is actually the hard part, which is why I use the wheel, because I love many of the paintings for many different reasons, and trying to decide which one to do is part of the problem. She says the amount of time and energy you spend on prepping and discussing the wheel is exhausting. Well, I am sorry you feel that way. I do like to get feedback on whether people like it or not. If the decision wheel discussion is getting too much, then by all means I say calm it down, because there may still be comments on it where I need to address it, but I'm more than happy to calm down the discussion on the decision wheel. She said you could be spending the time painting instead. I often am painting when discussing the decision wheel, or dekitting, or prepping up. So I do feel that I'm discussing it while doing something that's productive. It's not something I'm constantly discussing while sat on the couch doing nothing else. She said it was obvious. She said you were disappointed in the wheel choosing Kenny the koala. She says she could hear it in my voice. Oh, I don't know what that was. Yes, it may well have been disappointment in the fact I do have a few that are higher up. Not that making a decision between those ones is easy, hence the wheel. But yeah, there may well have been a few that maybe I had in my mind, or I'd like you to put this, or this one. But there wasn't one, hence the reason of the decision wheel. But that would have only been fleeting, because I do enjoy, say, all the paintings in my stash for different reasons. And it may have just taken a second or two for the reason that Kenny is in my stash to come to the forefront. She says, don't let AI take over your mind, listen to your heart. I have no idea what AI is in relation to that. AI has nothing to do with the decision wheel or my heart. Believe me, AI is not something that I take part in any which way knowingly. I know it is a very big part of discussion and the world right now, but believe me, I wouldn't even know how to find an AI to then do something for me. Though I'm sure it is encountered in day-to-day life, and especially in diamond painting. It's not something I will actively go and source out at all, though I'm sure it's affected me in some way unknowingly. So AI has nothing to do with my decision wheel or my moods or my heart. It is no way a significant part of my life. She says, okay, rant over. She says she loves my video and watches every single thing that I post. Well, I do appreciate your view. And I do get that the decision wheel topic has been something that's been discussed quite a lot, and I do take that on board. It has been something that has been an easy diamond painting discussion for me to discuss while doing WIP and Waffles, because it's a diamond painting related thing, and I'm excited for future diamond paintings, and I like the idea of having different ways of choosing my diamond painting, because I don't want to make that decision, because to me it is too hard a decision to make. I would second guess my choice. I would pick one for one particular reason and go to diamond paint the next day and think, oh, maybe I should have picked this one for this reason. Whereas now, it's not up to me to question my decision, because the decision wheel has done it for me, and that's not AI. You know, Wheel of Fortune has been around a lot longer than AI. It's just a spinning wheel that picks one at random. Has nothing to do with anything else. Grey Legrand, she says she loves the shading in the pinks. Yes, it definitely made the background really, really nice to do on Koala. That it wasn't just one single colour. It was still blocky enough to feel like you were making progress on the background, because, you know, we all enjoy, or I'm sure most of us enjoy doing the diamond painting, but the background part of the diamond painting isn't as enjoyable to me as the actual image itself. So having the background have some interest that made it a little bit different, but not, you know, huge confetti area which made it to the point of I'm spending far too long on the background because there's so many bits, was really, really nice in Koala. She says she doesn't use a decision wheel. She says she thought she'd work from her oldest to her newest, but instead she goes for variety. Such as, she says she was very near finishing a large pastel round painting. So she kitted up a large square monotone painting with tons of blues. She said she added quite a bit to the stash with Diamond Art Club's Black Friday and Cyber Monday deals. So she's trying. She's trying to be better. That's something we always constantly fight with. She said she really wants that Glacial Lake, but she's hoping it stays in stock until Dragon Spirit restocks. She says thanks for the WIP and Waffle. Hopefully it will stay in stock for you. Right, there's no letter X. So now I'm going to move on to S. Is there any more than those four? I don't think so. There has definitely been occasions where I've missed diamonds on my PaintGem minis. Missed like blocks where a colour's been used and had to go back. Let's see if this works. I know a lot of these diamonds will straighten out when I get my next row on, but I feel like they're not very straight at the moment. However, a lot of it is from the top. That did a bit. We'll see what it's like once they're all down. It's always hard when dealing with the first row. Okay, the letter T I only have about 4 of as well, so let's see if I can just dip in the pot and get these to put my little handle and my door knocker on. My door knocker, and then my handle is done. And then we have, the letter R. We've got quite a few of that. So let's tip that in. Nelly, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, please do the princess one. She said it is a nice one to do. She's having to give up diamond painting as she can't find a place. She says a friend sent her a picture of a drafting table but do you know if there are small ones? In relation to small drafting tables, not as much. They do tend to be bigger sizes because they're primarily made for drafters to have, you know, big blueprints and big things all over it. However, the best way to, in effect, set up a small drafting table is an easel, which can then go on any table. I have one on when I sit in the conservatory, my easel goes on a table that is not much bigger than the actual easel itself. It's a folding table, so I can put it away. So depending on what space you have, you may be able to find a table to fit your space and then add an easel, or use a folding table with a folding easel that you use by whatever chair that you're sitting in. So there are a few different options in that way. You can sometimes get some tilting tables, little tables that tilt. Megan prefers the one that tilts. It's got a few different layers up and it's got a couple of layers coming down. It's a little bit bigger than easel size, and she diamond painted on that for ages. Now she still uses that table, but she actually puts her easel on top of it and has the table flat. And she prefers the angle of that. So yeah, you're just not looking for a drafting table if you want a small one. You're looking for either a tilting table or an easel on top of a normal one. Kim, she says, a lick and a promise. She says, did she hear that correctly? She says, perhaps it is another UK expression. She says she admits that if it isn't a UK expression, she admits she hasn't heard it, though she likes it. Yes, a lick and a promise. I don't know whether it has generated from the UK, but it is definitely something we use. I'm going to have Google now. A lick and a promise. Here we go. It actually comes up in Google. So we've got the meaning. A lick and a promise is an act of cleaning or washing something in a hasty manner. Is a lick and a promise. She would give a lick and a promise to her parlour and sit down to await the American gentleman, is the quote. But yeah, a lick and a promise is a quick and... oh, hang on, I clicked on a website and now it's trying to get me agree to all these terms. Go away. A quick and careless attempt to do so. Okay, so in the US, apparently, because it does say the US meaning and then it says the UK meaning on this website. In the US meaning, a quick and careless attempt to do something. Apparently they give the budget problems a lick and a promise and then moved on to the next issue. Does that sound like it's in a meeting or something? Whereas the British is the act of washing something quickly or carelessly. He gave the car a lick and a promise. So yeah, it is mainly used in the UK in the act of washing something quickly or carelessly. So for example, the cleaning the bathroom or the kitchen or something like that is the sort of quick, I suppose. When I say, you know, I give the bathroom a quick lick and a promise, it's, you know, I've cleaned the toilet, the sink and the bath, but I've not wiped down all the tiles, I've not mopped the kitchen, I've not mopped the floor, you know, I might have hoovered the floor, but I've not given it a good... that sort of thing. You know, there's a few jobs that you may well know when you clean a room, as such in a proper clean of a room, there are probably a few jobs that you can get away with missing for a week or till the next time you clean. And you won't notice it the same way as if you ignore something else. So you might be able to get away with not giving the tiles a wipe down 1 week. You wouldn't be able to do it every week, but you could do it for 1 week. A kitchen, for example, you might wipe down the sides and again brush the floor. You might decide to not move stuff off the counter to wipe underneath it, or you know, give the floor a quick mop rather than a good mop, with a lot more wet water. That sort of thing. So yeah, a quick lick and a promise is often in relation to cleaning, though occasionally it will be used in relation to something else. But it's normally, it'll have a quick straighten, and if you can see dust, the dust will get wiped, otherwise it will get ignored. You know, it will use the quick duster, not a duster and polish, that sort of thing. But yeah, I'm all for giving rooms a lick and a promise often rather than properly cleaning all the time. Because it can survive, and it can survive another week with a quick clean, and it might get a lick and a promise every other week, but it'll still do. She says, although she might not be able to keep her promise to go back and do a better job. See, the thing is, it isn't always a matter of giving it a proper job later on. So in my example of something getting a lick and a promise or a quicker clean, it may be that it doesn't get that proper clean or those extra steps until the next time I'm cleaning it anyway. So yeah, I'd say I couldn't say that I will go back and do a proper job any time before it's due cleaning again anyway. She says she guesses she would lick more often than promise. Yes, many of us do, I think. Many of us that use the option to give it a lick and a promise probably do lick more than they promise. I can definitely see that as being a thing. Carrie says, good evening. She says she's watching this waffle at 7 p.m. After another trip to the emergency room for her migraines. She says we have the correct combination of meds figured out. That's good. She said to help her get out of the extreme pain for a while. So yay. Awesome news. She says hopefully insurance will approve me getting Botox for them next week, which will give her better control. She said, love watching you diamond paint today. It's an adorable painting. She says, thank you for another WIP and Waffle. Well, thank you for being here, and I hope you're feeling better. Definitely sounds like things are heading in the right direction, which is good, and which is what you need. What you need and what we all want for you. Kim, she says, me again. She says she would love if I purchased blank canvases from different sites, she says, to do a comparison. She says she wants to do a conversion one of these days. She says I'm doing and me doing the work of finding the best option would be awesome. I like your honesty, Kim. Yeah, I actually think it would be a good idea, and I think it's something that I am happy to do. It's something I will probably order in a little bit closer to finishing walking in the rain. It's something I'm actually happy to sort of order now while it's forefront in my mind. However, I don't want the prices to be completely off by the time I get to doing that painting. So I'll go with doing it closer to the time, so at least the prices are likely to be similar, because I actually don't know how long walking in the rain is going to take me. It could be something that I finish quite quickly, depending on what diamond painting I end up kitting up next, or it could be something that takes a lot longer. I've actually had Walking in the Rain as my diamond painting to work on this week. However, it's been another busy week for me. I've had to do quite a bit of admin in the evenings, or by the time I've finished, it's like 8, half 8 at night. So I've actually chosen to do a PaintGem mini instead of doing a section on Walking in the Rain. Partly because I can sit on the couch, partly because they're smaller. So I haven't been able to actually work on it that much this last week. I did get a couple of sections done, so there is some progress for the next WIP and Waffle, but not as much as I may have liked. We'll see how next week goes, if I get more progress next week, before I then move on to my newly kitted up painting, which is happening next week. I'm actually kitting up, well, the video is going up for me kitting up my set of PaintGem minis this week. I actually did film that last week, and it's a good job because I have done a few of them over this last week, because I've not been finishing work till late, or till later. Work and house, it's been a bit of both. But by the time I've got to sit down to diamond paint, it's been too late, in my head, too late to sit down and do Walking in the Rain. So I've actually done a couple of PaintGem minis instead. So yeah, it's a good job that I filmed that video last weekend while I was in the mood for it, though you guys will see it this upcoming week. It's not very often I film in advance, but every now and then I'm really in the mood for filming. So I did decide to kit up 3 sets of PaintGem minis at once. So you guys have an epic video coming this week. So it won't matter if this video is shorter, though I don't expect it to be, but yeah, if this doesn't end up being a long WIP and Waffle, then believe me, there's a long video coming for you this week that you can settle down to and diamond paint for a couple of hours while I kit up a few kits all at once. Kim also says, she says, me again, sorry. She says she tried to keep count of my stash, but she lost count while admiring my collection. She says, do you have a number? I actually don't. I will try and remember, and I say try because I know my memory may go, but I am doing my logbook video this week. It is logbook video time. I do need to take some photos for it, as is always the case. It's very rare that I am ahead with photos for my logbook, but I also want to take a photo of this doors collection, even though it's officially now March that I finished it, a bit like I did Purple Tiger in my logbook update last month, and I actually finished him in February, not in January. But like, while I'm taking the photos, I'd rather do them all together, especially if I don't get any fully completed in the month of March. Then it saves me taking photos for March. So what I will try and do, to get back to the point I'm actually making, hence this is a waffle, I will, if I remember when I am filming the logbook video, I will do a little tally of how many paintings I have in my stash, and I will let you guys know how many I've got waiting to unbox as well, so it'll sort of be a bit of a, it's this many, and when I've unboxed everything it's this many, because I do have a couple of paintings waiting to be unboxed. Right, have I got all that said? I think I have. Okay, we've got no Y and no number 2. So my next most bottom left is this turquoise. Kathy, she says, Kenny the koala, she says she loves it. She says, this was mentioned in this video, she said, about taking photos of completed diamond paintings. She said she would love to hear any tips on taking photos of completed paintings. She says the photos of her diamond paintings don't come out very good. She says she takes her pictures using her phone camera, and it takes great pictures of objects / people, but not her diamond paintings. She says, thanks for the great waffle. It can be hard, especially if you're trying to catch, you know, potentially any sparkle. If you're trying to catch sparkle on diamond paintings, that can be really hard. So best ways, ideal world, and I don't have this option, but ideal world is a picture hung up on the wall and taking a photo that way, so you can step as far back as you need to get the photograph. I think this washi tape is done for, that's holding this painting on. That's sort of an ideal way of getting a photo, but more often than not, mine are just laid on the floor and I'm standing over them, sometimes legs apart, over the top, trying not to get my feet in the shot as I'm taking a photo. But the best thing I found is you need nice daylight, so good light outside but not direct sun. I found if the sun is shining like directly in a window, for example, then you don't get the best lighting off your pictures. It tends to actually create more shadows and things, which doesn't help. So indirect sunlight is your best option, which is why I'm not sure if I would remember to count my logbook pages, because today the weather is miserable as I'm filming this. So it may be that I don't film my logbook video until tomorrow, in the hope for a little bit nicer weather and the ability to take my photos in slightly better weather. It does, when the weather's not very good, it does make me favour doing my other videos I need to film first, in the hope that the light gets better. If not, I will take what photos I can, and they are what they are. But I always take mine by a window, on the floor by a window. I do use my conservatory and then my conservatory doors, so the light does go all the way to the floor. And then, yeah, as I say, get yourself as much over the top of your picture as you can. Otherwise, if you do have the ability of space, or maybe to hang your picture you've completed on, say, a trouser hanger, and hang it on a wall that's opposite a window, so the light shining in, but again, you don't want the direct sun shining in, because then your body itself trying to take a picture will cause a shadow. That's probably your best way to get a picture. And then if you want to try and get a picture of, you know, say your diamonds are super nice, or you want to get a picture of the sparkle, then maybe try and get a picture on an angle. So for example, if this was the picture, well, it's not sticking anyway, then maybe get your camera sort of up this close, you know, and take a picture from the side so that you can get a little bit of that sparkle coming off the diamonds, and have sort of a close-up picture as well as a zoomed out picture. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, ask another question, I'll answer it next week or the week after. Mrs. BGG, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she hopes me and the family are well. Thank you, yes. She says, can I make a suggestion on the cover paper design? She says, could you do different dog breeds and cats? That is something we'll be happy to look into. We are trying to sort of cover lots and lots of different themes, primarily with our limited editions. Each sort of month, I will see if I can get a month that fits in cats and dogs and sort of see which ones we can get. But we have also announced that on Friday we are releasing A4 sheets of the single-sided cover paper so that you can potentially print your own designs. So maybe if it comes to a certain breed of dog, or you know, a certain image that you guys want on cover paper, you can have the option to create something that is not only unique to you, but is a design that you love for your specific reasons, and it saves you waiting for us to get around to it. Provided you have, of course, the printer and the ability to mess about with stuff to do it. So if anybody does want that possibility, maybe mess about with printing on some normal paper first to get your design so you're happy with it, and then you can print it on cover paper, and we can see all sorts of designs out there. There are so many designs, and there are so many that we love, and there are so many that we love but actually once put on cover paper we end up not going with, which is why our clearance cover paper keeps going and coming back. Any designs that are rejected, or maybe when we're messing with printer settings to get them to print out in the colours we want, we may have some that have printed in colours that we don't have as a final outcome. So cover paper in our clearance section keeps coming back and going again, depending on stock levels, whenever we mess about with new designs and get things sorted for that. So yeah, I'll be more than happy to put it on our list. I'll see if it will fit in any of our upcoming months, and maybe slip it in there so that we can go on a proper hunt for some different options. She says she would like to join in the June Waffle. She says it will be her first ever event since she started diamond painting. She says, is there anything she needs to do to join in? No, you don't need to do anything to join in either our June event or December event. Basically throughout the month of June I will complete one section of a painting a day on a WIP and Waffle, and end to aim the month with a completed painting. So if you don't have any particular project that you have to do, then pick a painting that you can put aside to divide into 30 sections for the month of June. I'm going to have to get some more washi tape. It's right here. I don't know why I'm being lazy with it, but this painting keeps moving and it's actually slightly annoying. So I'm using this thicker washi tape. I don't tend to use this thick stuff for other stuff as much, but it is great for holding these on the easel. There we go. Upgrade my washi. It's in a tub right underneath the desk where I'm working now, so it's really not hard to get hold of. Okay, am I done with that one? Yes. Yeah, so if you've got a diamond painting that you want to do, no bigger than 40 by 50 I'd say, unless you have a really, you know, decent amount of time to be able to diamond paint each and every day. You know, you can do other projects alongside it. Some people just work throughout the month of June on a big project and they just say that their goal is to do one section a day, not to finish it. And then, yeah, just turn up when you can, do a section when you can, and accept that sometimes life throws you curveballs and stops you doing it, but just try and get back to it as and when you can. So if you found on the 1st of June that something happened in life and you weren't able to diamond paint the whole day, don't give up. Come on the 2nd of June and start then. But no, there's nothing specific that you need to do to join in. And then any paintings you get completed in June, even if they're partial completions, if they are something that you post in the Facebook group, I tend to have a post on the last day. And anybody that gives permission for me to use their picture, I will do a little montage of everything that gets completed in June or partially completed in June. Some people only like to work on big paintings. And yeah, there's no restrictions. Some people like to use it to finish any WIPs they may have. If they've started quite a few diamond paintings and not got to the end on some of them. Some people like to use the June Waffle to sort of finish them off, doing a section a day until paintings are completed. It's really up to you. Albright says, finally all caught up with my videos this week. It said they had to do a lot of diamond painting this weekend to catch up. That's a shame. That's a big shame. I like your sacrifice. She said, thanks for the WIP and waffles. There is a laughy face along with her saying she had to do a load of diamond painting. You keep that excuse going. I'm more than happy for you to use that as a reason to diamond paint some more. Mrs. Thaxton, she says it was me that posted in the group. She says she also put her symbols in a wheel and she spins. She says she only does that though when it tends to be like letters and numbers. She says with other ones that are like arrows and things like that, she puts just a number 1 and then how many drills I have are her symbols. So yeah, she also uses a decision wheel to decide what symbol she's going to do. Don't quite think I'm going to do that one. I love the idea of it though, because I do enjoy using the decision wheel. But I don't quite think I want to take the time for it to pick my symbols. I'm quite happy with my game of bottom left, or sometimes deciding to do it in alphabetical order to break things up. Quite happy with sort of working through those options for now. I get my little pot one. She says she also has a wheel that decides what crafting projects she's doing in the afternoon, since she has so many. I like that idea as well, because you can always choose to ignore one if you're like, no, I've really not got my heart in that one. But if you have your heart in a few and can't decide, then a decision wheel can be great help for that. Okay, I've actually finished that one. Have I got any 9s, 8s or 7s? I don't. At least I think I do. Nope. So we'll go on to the letter M. She also says, you just said that I use my diamonds in my tray before I tip more in. She says, oh my God, she says she does the same thing. She says she will fight with them to make sure they all get on that painting. She says she's doing a load of black right now. Yes, I am a big culprit of doing that, of wanting to use all the diamonds in my tray before I tip any more in. Sometimes when I do have some ones that are really giving me hassle, I actually tell myself off and then tip more diamonds in sometimes. Sometimes I persevere until I've managed to get them all, and then I tip another load of diamonds in. Sometimes I do it if I have quite a few maybe trash diamonds or little bits of trash, especially if it's like 310 and I'm near the bottom of the pot. Then I will do it to clear all the good diamonds out so that I can tip all the trash parts straight into the bin and sort of clear it out that way. But there has been a couple of times that I've said to myself, why are you doing this? And I've tried to stop myself by just tipping more diamonds in, but that's not very often. It's not very often I do that. Fee, she says, hi, she says she definitely would like that extra spurt to get more diamond painting and chores done. She said Tuesday she was really poorly at work, she says, which it had to happen, she says, when we had very little staff in. She says so she's not going back to work until tomorrow. She says she's been taking it easy. She says, but it's really not her and it feels odd. Yes, if you're somebody that constantly likes to be on the go, trying to take it easy can be the hardest thing ever. She says also she does know that there will be extra work tomorrow, and she's not sure if her body will behave and be sick again. Well, if it does, then you need to take longer off work. And don't get me wrong, this is definitely me saying something that I don't do myself. But it is true when they say it's your body saying you've not given me time to heal. So do take care of yourself, and realise that if need be, you just have to take that time. The guilt will probably come with it, and as much as I say ignore it, it's not pretty much impossible to do. So yeah, just try and take care of yourself. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through some walking in the rain comments. Save those for Thursday's video, which I'll be filming soon. And of course, my trash tray is over there. So get rid of that joined up diamond. Cat Lady, she says Kenny came out well. She said he's cute. He is. He's absolutely adorable. He's still here. I need to, of course, break him down, which will be next week. I'll be breaking it down and kitting up my next one. All in, well, 2 videos, but one after the other. She says, as to sorting out, she says it seems to now be generating more items to be moved than they have time to do. She says, so at this rate, she says she will need a collection by a charity to help clear it all. She said she also has lots of the green boats and pens to move on. So if anyone can use them, please let me know. I don't know of anyone that can use them, like it's not top of my head. So if anybody does know, do let Tina know. But another option is always schools, potentially for any toolkits. So the pens without the pen tips can be used like straws for blowing paint, and the boat can be used for holding paint and things like that. So schools, nurseries, things like that might be somewhere worth asking if you have some that are, you know, close enough to you, local for you to try. Margaret, she says, hi Rebecca. She says her order arrived safely. Oh, so happy. Enjoy your goodies. She says she's waiting for White Christmas to arrive, and she loves the koala. White Christmas is gorgeous. absolutely gorgeous. And I was happy when after I'd filmed the video for my latest Christmas painting, I did go and check and it was in stock when I uploaded the video. So I was so glad. I should have checked that before I uploaded it, before I filmed it. But sometimes my mind doesn't work that way and I come into film and then I realise something partway through filming. That either I haven't got something that I needed to get, or I haven't checked something that I wanted to check. Nova Scotian Hiker said she started Cosmic Trip yesterday. Woohoo! You're going to love it. Absolutely love the colours and stuff in that one. And here's me going to fight with those 2 diamonds to empty my tray before I tip what is about 7 diamonds in that I need for this next section. And then I'm going to tip them all back into the pot anyway. Oh well. She said it's so much fun to work on and Kenny is a cute little fellow. He is. He's adorable. So glad you got to the point that you're able to work on Cosmic Trip because it is stunning. I agree. Oh, nearly got rid of them then, and I've just realised there is 2 in the windows. And then I actually don't have any of these other colours on there. So I guess we will jump to the letter A for a little bit of pale yellow. Marie Angel, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, the end of February is exciting for her because it's her birthday on the 28th. Oh, I thought she was going to say 29th then. That would have been a nice way to be a whole lot younger than you feel maybe. She said, happy birthday though on the 28th and had an amazing day. I can't believe February's gone already. She says an important one also. She says she is finally a legal citizen of her country, Panama, with 18 years old. Oh, beautiful. Congratulations. Exciting times. 2024 is your year. She says Kenny is the cutest. She said it has to be said that her name is Koala Jaja. She said sent lots of love from Marie. Love it. Absolutely love it. Well, huge congratulations. And let's hope we all have good news in 2024. An exciting year. Olivia says she is loving the progress. She says she's just discovered that she may have rather a lot of round paintings. She says from sorting out her drill boxes. She says those mesh bags are great to pop the packets in while she properly sorts them all. Yes, I love those mesh pouch bags that I use primarily for my PaintGems, but I do use them for my smaller diamond painting diamonds as well. And they're absolutely fantastic. Right, I've got 2 sets now. So we're going to do the pale letter F, and then I need to do my dark surrounding my windows in 2 different colours. Mustn't forget them because it's actually, every time I look at it, I'm like, oh no, need to remember I've still got those symbols to do. Because it's the lighter ones that are popping out at me having symbols on. I'm also giving things a little nudge as I'm putting these in, just to sort of straighten up that frame round the door. Just using my pen to make sure they're as straight as possible. And of course the diamonds going in helps to make it look pretty. Darcy, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she's still waiting for her order from Kudeals. She says ordered 2 weeks ago. She said, and no notice about if it has started its trip to get to her. I know that Coup Deals did close for Spring Festival or Chinese New Year. So it may be that it didn't ship until after then. I'm currently waiting on stuff from Coup Deals as well. I don't tend to get shipping notification just because I do unboxings of them. So I don't even know if mine's been shipped yet either. But I know I spoke to them just before Spring New Year, and they said it would get shipped afterwards, and I've not received it yet either. So when that will be, who knows? Who knows? But you'll see a Coup Deals video from me when it does turn up. But I think they are definitely affected and delayed by the Chinese New Year. So they may have a lot to catch up on. She also said she saw these two unboxed from Joanne's diamond painting, from Joan's Diamonds, and completely fell in love with them. She says both are full rhinestone. Well, hopefully they will be with you soon. As I say, I'm not quite that far. I don't quite know how much they need to catch up and things. It also wouldn't surprise me if mine is sort of back of the list to get shipped. So hopefully yours will turn up well before mine. In fact, yours may have already turned up because your comment was a week ago. But I know Spring New Year, you sort of need to ignore that time frame. So I doubt it would have shipped until after, what was it, the 16th of Feb? Something like that. I know it's definitely slowed things down. Darcy has come on. She has said, again, she's still waiting for her Coup Deals, but she's received her funnels and tenue order. Yeah, it'll be the Chinese New Year that has definitely delayed Coup Deals. Some companies work through it, some don't. You know, I can see there's a business benefit working through it. There's a business benefit working through it. However, there is also a staff and a good company morale by not working through it. So I'm kind of in favour of both. Well, no, actually, I'm probably more in favour of shutting. However, I do think more notice should potentially be given. Especially for those who don't celebrate Chinese New Year. And while we know it's going on, even myself, I'm not very good on the dates. I think it was from a company telling me the dates that actually made me realise when it was. And I then took that information and applied it to orders from other companies. But yeah, I do think they could potentially do a little bit better communication over it. Arissa says Kenny is very cute. Thank you, he is. He's gorgeous. Lady Dax, she says, oh, P Jelly was chuffed to see me using the pen, which is this one, by the way, and so pleased that I liked it, which I do. I've been using it quite a bit, and as I say, I felt like I wanted to use it again. It will come out again in the future, that's for sure. It can be very hard to decide what pen to use, because one, I have loads, second, I love loads, and yeah, I try to definitely make sure ones that are gifted to me are used throughout my waffles, but sometimes, especially because there is a day in between each waffle, I get confused over which pens I've used and which pens I haven't. And I've tried to sort of set up a system on how I use the pens, but occasionally I know I've missed some, because I also have details of who's given me them in my pen box. But if I take all my pens out of my pen box to make sure that I use them and then put them away, I'd forget who gave them me. So it's a complicated thing to deal with. But yes, I love my pen. She said she's decided to leave her ABs in the photo box. She says, but she has bought. She says it's all Blossom's fault, of course. Blossom and Lady Dax, Blossom Chocs and Lady Dax blame each other for everything. It's quite funny. Then again, I can see why they blame each other, because sometimes I blame them, so I'm all for it. She says she has bought an Art.DMC chart with the drills on it too. So if she doesn't have the correct AB to swap it out, she'll be able to look for the nearest match on the chart. That sounds like a good combination. It does. And I think I potentially need to go to a photo box for my ABs. I'm not sure if I moved to the short bookmarks for my dividers, if I would be able to go back down to 3 boxes for my squares and then potentially use 1 box for my ABs. Or maybe I could have my squares that they are in 3 and a bit and have my ABs in the rest of it. I'm not sure yet. I'm still sort of processing whether I'm ready to do another sort of adjustment in my spares or not. Because it is a system that can grow with you, but it is one that I don't want to mess with too much, because then it seems like higher maintenance than what it is. And it's not actually the spares box that's high maintenance, it's me that's high maintenance. Fee, she says, hi Rebecca, she says she's not sure if I realised this, but she thought she would share. She says the shop called Funky Fidget Toys, if I could read, and they've got a sensory lanyard with Kenny the koala. She says, did you know about this, and is that why your Kenny's called Kenny? No, I didn't know about that at all. Never heard of that shop. I just got Kenny from the names in the comments. I asked people for names in the comments. Kenny did come up the most, and it was the one that when I read it clicked with me. Whether it's come from something else being called Kenny in the past that I've maybe subconsciously picked up on, quite possibly. I don't know what it is though. I just thought it went. Jerry, she says, hi everyone. Oh, goodness me, this is a long comment. Okay, she says, hi everyone. She says, as far as living in the snow, she said she grew up not living in the snow. And they moved to a new house almost 5 years ago and live right at the snow line. She loves her house and she doesn't even mind the snow at times. She says the biggest issue that they have is that not all of the roads get ploughed, such as part of the road that they live on. She still works every day and doesn't have a 4-wheel drive. She says last year they had so much snow that she ended up having to work from home for at least a week, while part of the state was being flooded with rain. She said it wasn't so bad. She said, however, as she worked with emergency services for their state, it was a little difficult trying to get phone calls taken care of when the power went out. She says, when the power's out, our home phone doesn't work and her cell phone is very spotty. She said, after the snow, she says, then we do have to put up with ice. She says, we get a good patch of ice at the end of our driveway from the snow melt. She says, for reference, last year, she said, after, where was it? There we go. After the snow had melted enough away, she was getting ready for work and it was garbage day. She was taking their cans to the street for them to be emptied, and she didn't notice that there was ice on the driveway and she slipped. She said her ring finger ended up scraping on the road. Ooh. She says after she'd laid in the road for a bit to get her bearings, she got up, went inside the house and laid on the kitchen floor and had hubby bandage her finger up. Sorry, I'm going to get ready to frame this while I'm at it. yeah, she has a very hard time with the sight of blood. She said her nail has finally grown back, she says, but it did take a while. They live about 45 minutes from ski resorts and big attractions. She says when it snows, everyone is on their way to go skiing. She said it snowed a couple of weeks ago, so she left early to get home before chain requirements. She says she doesn't have a four-wheel drive, but she does have cables for her car, but they're very difficult to put on. She says as she got to where she was going, the snow was starting, and there were multiple people on the side of the road putting their chains on. People slamming on their brakes to get to the side of the road to put them on, and one person had even spun around and was facing the wrong way on the freeway. She says she loves living here, and she knows how to drive in the snow. She says, but there are a lot of people on the way to the tourist areas who don't know how to drive in the snow, and makes her driving home treacherous. She says she's good tyres on her car that are rated for snow, and they aren't cheap. But people that don't live in the snow usually don't. She says, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't trade living up here, and only have about another year to a year and a half of work commuting left. See, that's what would get me. And I do know that the tricks for driving in the snow in relation to higher gears and things. We hardly get any, but I couldn't be dealing with it all the time. I really couldn't. But it's pretty. I just couldn't live like that all the time, I don't think. I think I'd rather be a tourist of it. Anyway, that is my doors finished and my WIP and Waffle for today. So thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll speak to you all again soon.